Suzanne, welcome aboard Ocean 18.
Thank you.
How was today as a day, as a jury president? Was it good, tough? How was it?
So it's a very, very busy day today.
Okay.
So we started the day by welcoming the liaisons, which, for those that are not here, is the 126 to be exact.
Wow.
Young, creative, brilliant minds who have come to soak up the knowledge. I don't know how much knowledge I have to give, but we started the day with that and just had a conversation around this new category that we're doing this year, which is creative strategy and business transformation.
Love it.
So it's the longest named category.
Right.
But we had a day. We're through about 50 to 60% of the entries so far. So
That's
we're trucking along. Yeah.
Well, look, you're familiar with the format. We talk a little bit offline. So I would say, let's go right into it.
I'm in.
Across
Let's do
your
it.
ocean.
Let's do it.
Okay, so first question. Perhaps the most important substance dissolved in the ocean is salt. It comes from mineral deposits that find their way to the ocean through the water cycle. Now, salt comprises about 3.5% of the mass of the ocean water. Depending on any specific location, the salt content or salinity can differ. At Transatlantic, we believe that everyone is an ocean, but my question is, what is the single most important ingredient you are made of?
I'm going to answer with a bit of a cliche.
Right.
And it's going to be fine, because there's a nickname that some people know me by, so it will work with that. But the most important ingredient probably in me is sunshine.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. And I am called Susie Sunshine at times because I sometimes have ridiculous amounts of optimism when I shouldn't.
Do you?
Yes, big time.
How do you do it? Because you're talking to a guy that is very pessimistic by nature.
So we have darkness and light, is what you're saying. How do I do it? I see something in just about everybody I meet and just about every situation I'm in, even if it's arduous and tough. And I just see opportunity in that. As a strategy person, you are problem solving all the time.
Right.
So when you're problem solving, you're looking for the light.
And in your personal life, have you always been optimistic since you were younger, or a kid, or you develop this skill? Because I do believe it's a skill to be optimistic.
Yeah, I think it's
literally life.
Yeah, I think I've always been optimistic and adventurous, but I have the dark side to that, which you always have. Which is, the shadow to that is overthinking and overanalyzing. And I've always been like that as a kid, So, but I think the overanalysis leads to the light. It's very related. So
the light beat darkness all the time.
Yes.
Okay, look, second question. Coral reefs are one of the ocean's most diverse habitats, yet the creative industry often lacks such diversity. As founder of PowersCreativity, which is this creative strategic collective, a company that dedicated to help other organizations to grow and unleash their creativity, have you seen progress in diversity and inclusion, or you think that is still a battle? And if you had a chance, have you seen a stark difference between North America and Europe when it comes to diversity?
Yeah. So, I've been at this company of mine for 9 months. I can call experience from that, but also from the last 5 to 10 years as well. There's definitely been a change for the better, I would say, for the most part. There's still work to be done. What I see and what I advise clients about is, diversity is perspective. It's perspective based on experiences. It's perspective based on cultural differences and nuances. It's energy. It's capabilities. It's expertise. If you don't have a mixture of that, it's very hard to crack something creatively.
When was the last time you changed perspective?
Myself?
Yeah, on anything in life, perspective comes with a stance, and a true physical stance.
Yeah.
When was the last time you changed perspective?
I think starting this business has been a big shift for me from a perspective standpoint. I've been in very large organizations. I've been oftentimes the rebel rouser within a big system and allowed to have that flex. When you're starting your own thing, you suddenly have to be everything. You have to
Right.
be the wild one. You have to be the solid one. You have to be the realist. You have to be everything.
Right.
And that's been, I just look at things through all angles now. And I probably didn't do that before.
Did you have, or do you have tougher days now than you had before?
Oh, yes.
Because everything is sitting on your shoulders.
Oh, yes, yes. The emotional roller coaster, just ask my husband and my children, of starting a business, and I know you know this, is a whole other set of circumstances, I will just say.
Okay, good. Like, so in Decalogue 1 is a 1988 Polish drama series of films directed by Kiełowski, and is recounted the story of a smart father and a genius son. Together they use computers to calculate the freezing rate of a nearby pond, so they will know when the ice is thick and when the ice is thinner, so they can skate. But ponds and currents cannot always be studied so simply, and perhaps the computer in that case is a false god. That's the message of the movie. What human quality would you want to transfer to a computer, and for what purpose, if you had the chance to?
Oof. Well, first of all, I have a lot of thoughts about the currents and about the freezing rates, but we'll get to that another time. What would I want to transfer? I think, it's interesting. There are mornings, whether in a large organization or not, when I think you just have to call up different energies and different focus. And, I have a little mantra I bring into lots of things, which is around clarity, focus, confidence. And I wish I could kind of transfer those things to a computer to give it back to me, to remind me that those are the things that are going to take me forward.
Also, computers don't have empathy. They are very binary.
Exactly.
Very
exactly.
black and white.
Exactly.
And I think there was I read once this amazing short novel of, I think it was written by Philip Dick, and it was Do Android Dream of Black Ship? And it's the novel that inspired Blade Runner, the movie. And it recounts this tale of this humanoid that the very first thing they lost when they transferred from human race to humanoid was empathy. So they go around with a box attached to their ankle, and that's like the empathy box.
Wow.
They carry it outside their body as a humanoid. And I do think that's when you look at a computer, the binary nature of the computer, it doesn't allow any empathy.
No.
Any understanding.
No.
So,
and if it pretends to be empathetic,
right.
we know that's a falsehood, right?
Yeah.
That's generated somewhere.
It's generated empathy.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, so a shipwreck off Coran Shore Beach, once a casino, now lie buried and uncovered by the sand over time. On New Year's Day in 1937, a storm ripped this heavy concrete ship, and the anchor completely blew. Now, since it was an illegal ship on the U.S. soil, on the U.S. shoreline, no one claimed ownership of these boats. That made me think about a parallelism that I can build with advertising. Is there a shipwreck in the advertising industry that is sitting there and no one claim, no one want to actually touch it or move it somewhere else?
Can I be metaphorical about
Of
that
course, I
answer?
love
Of
metaphor.
course. Literal and metaphorical, probably. I think the shipwreck of our industry is not valuing what we do, and everything goes back to the business of our industry,
Right.
and not being strong enough about what that does. And as we are facing into this onslaught of, AI can do this and AI can do that, and we're in a situation where we've commoditized the things that make us beautiful and unique, and add a lot of expertise to what our clients need. So I think our shipwreck is the value comp model, and that we have just never figured out how to get paid properly.
Never figure it out.
I think we will figure it out, because I look at the rise of the independents And this is happening not just in the US, it's happening in many, many countries. Where there are creative souls who are going out there and doing something. And I hope all of them are pushing to get paid for the value that they bring. I'm certainly trying to tackle it in my own business, but we have to chip away at this shipwreck.
Right.
It's a very big deal to our business.
You know, sometimes one of the problems, not the only problem, is when you think of creative work, you sit on a very subjective land, right? Like, you know, somehow, for some reason, you never question an engineer the way he built a bridge, but you always feel compelled to question a creative the way he came up with an idea. And you always think that you can do better, even if, like, to be a creative is not like someone's job, like, you know, it's like a thing that is not creativity is not looked upon as a true profession. It's still looked upon as a very temporary, like, you know, spark of light that somehow like hit like a lightning, and everybody can have it.
Yeah.
And I think there is a lot of like fundamentally, like, you know, misplaced meaning into the sentence, everybody's a creative. I do believe that everybody has a creative mind, but not everybody can be a creative because it's a method, it's a technique, it's a process that you learn by studying and by working on your craft, like everybody else, like doing their job. You know, it's like if I say everybody's an engineer, no, it's not.
Yes.
You haven't studied as an engineer.
Yes.
Like, you know, so I think that's one of the problems.
No, I couldn't agree more. And, you know, that's why I'm obsessed with helping companies figure out how to create the conditions where creativity, not necessarily creatives, but creativity can flourish.
Yeah.
And then you have to bring in the people who are the best at that. I mean, I believe that I've spent my whole career following around creatives and hopefully sparking some ideas for them and hopefully, you know, also clearing the decks, back to the metaphor we're talking about, and giving room for that creativity to thrive, but also helping clients make some brave decisions when we've got it. And you know when you've got it, because you know, like as a team, you know when you've hit something quite spectacular.
That's awesome. Look, like, so the ocean has no memory. It regenerates itself with each wave. When sailing, past and future merge into just one single line of time. If you could choose, would you live in the past or in the future? And if it's the past or is the future, where would you be? Which time?
I'm going to say future as the eternal optimist. Because I think there is so much more ahead of us, and these problems that we're talking about, they're not to use again another cliched term, they are a burning platform, and it means that we will solve it. Since the beginning of time, humans have solved the biggest problems with creativity. Back to that, especially when it's dire. So I think we're in a pretty dire state in a lot of ways. As an industry, you know, globally, I think there's a lot of things facing us, and it's up to the creative brains in the world to solve for that. So I want to live in the future and be part of those solutions, and you know, just I can feel the digging coming on, where you just like get smart about it and help people do that, and help rally the right people towards those things, and I just want to be along for the ride.
You know,
for that.
once I read this amazing quote. I don't remember the name of the person that said these words, but it really struck me. And he says, like, we do not remember the past, we remember the future.
Yeah.
And I found that so inspiring because it's true. Like, you know, like what is the future is going to be very, very soon the past, and you start remembering it. So effectively,
So
you
true.
do remember the future.
So true.
You
I
do
think
not
I said
remember
that.
the past.
I'm kidding. No,
You
I
said
didn't
that.
say that.
Okay, look, here are some, like, you know, words from Paul Auster, like an amazing writer. He was a New Yorker, like raised in Brooklyn, and like, you know, he belonged to the kind of like current literary currents that developed like in the 80s. Unfortunately, he passed away, I think, this year. And people say you had to travel to see the world. Sometimes I think that if you just stay in one place and keep your eyes open, you're going to see just about everything you can handle. Do you agree with this statement?
I have had global jobs for the last, so I'll take it literally first, but global jobs for the last 23, 24 years. And without those opportunities of landing in a place where I have never been and feeling jet lagged, out of sorts, having to figure things out, having to navigate a different language, a different culture, a different city system, or a different country system, I would not be who I am. So I think it's really important I raise my kids this way, to be global citizens and to really soak that up and do it. That said, I think there's a beautiful thing happening in one's mind if you just let yourself really
But I agree
approach
with
that.
you. I think sometimes you gotta go there and experience things like on your skin. And Fernando Pessoa was a Portuguese poet. He used to say that the traveler is the travel.
Yes.
And I think that there is like some true in that.
Well, you have to get lost a little bit.
You
You have to get lost. And if you allow yourself to get lost somewhere and figure it out, interesting things happen,
Last question. You have been invited by the awards as a president for the creative strategy and transformative business impact jury. What a long name.
Told you.
If you had to describe a transformative experience in the creative field with just 3 words, what would they be?
A transformative experience in the creative world. They would be, okay, I'm going to give you emotional words. Oh, ooh, I had no idea. Honestly. I mean, it's funny, we talked about this on our jury today, because you're going through so many entries quickly. And I said, guys, don't forget, it has to be creative, it has to be strategic. It has to be strategically creative, it has to be creatively strategic. So you're going to watch things and look at things, and you're going to have to think first, oh, how did they think of that, insight-wise? And ooh, I didn't think they were going to do it that way. Like, that's what it is. And by the way, bump-a-dump-a-dump, it makes an impact on society, brands, business, the world.
That's a great answer. That's a proper answer from our jury president. Look, thank you so much for being part of Ocean
Thank
18.
you.
And it was amazing, crossing your ocean. And I wish you the best. And
Thank you.
enjoy Vegas.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.